This is you, the average Valorant player, scrolling mindlessly through YouTube and TikTok to find the next exciting tip that'll miraculously make you rank up instantly. These interesting tricks that specific agents or maps have can give you a slight advantage in a round of a match. However, becoming a better Valorant player isn't always so glamorous. In this video, we'll break down the boring fundamentals that make winning easy. Of course, the easiest way to start destroying games is always going to be focusing on your mechanics. We've gone ahead and put together an hour-long aim masterclass that's designed to teach you literally everything there is to know about aiming as quickly as possible, to get you instantly climbing in no time. You'll go from looking like a stormtrooper to instantly fragging out like 10s in no time. Our courses are so good, in fact, we even offer a rank improvement guarantee, and that means if you don't climb, you don't pay. For as cheap as $6.99, you can instantly start climbing the ladder and dominating the game or your money back. Everyone is capable of top fragging their matches. Sometimes all they need is the right guidance. Check out SkillCapped using the link below and get started on your journey today. We've all heard the same advice of playing time whenever you have the spike planted. But check out this clip of Nevera putting on a masterclass on how to play the spike during this clutch on Breeze.
He's just got to accept his fate, turns it quickly. Goes for one, tried to get the shot through, but safe. He's taking the space. I love that from him. Oh, it's shorty. No way. No way, Nevera. He's still standing. Trying to clutch himself the shoulder peak. The man is ice cold. He ain't giving this one up. Oh, and the one again, Nevera. The guy's a god.
Are you kidding me?
The clip starts with Nevera being put into a 1v3 situation. A concept we've talked about extensively in our videos is the higher-lower rule. Nevera, understanding that he's at a man disadvantage, goes for aggressive moves that help isolate duels. Before Nevera used his initial teleport, he spotted that Jett had an operator in hand. With this info, he knows he has to take this fight against Jett a little bit differently. Just dry swinging into an op who's holding the single angle that you can peek from, it's a near unwinnable fight. So, he uses a jump peek to bait the Jett into missing the only op shot she'll get to use, because Nevera swiftly peeks to fight her while the op has to reset. While the fight with Jett was happening, Nevera also heard the enemy Skye start to defuse the spike. With this info, he can make an educated guess that she's likely sticking the defuse, because she's placing her trust in her Viper and Jett to protect her, even if it's just to stick the half defuse. With this in mind, he swings and he kills the Viper, whittling the round down to a 1v1 where he has the spike ticking down. This is where Nevera executes the advice of playing time. Now, a big misconception that a lot of new players make when it comes to this adage is they believe that playing time equates to just hiding and waiting. And this is far from the truth. In this instance, playing time means to peek but not to take the fight. If we examine these two peeks from Nevera, they accomplish two important goals. First off, Nevera is jiggle peeking to gain info on whether or not Skye is sticking the defuse, and if she is half defused. Second, he applies pressure by jiggle peeking, so Skye may think he's swinging to fight as she attempts to stick the defuse. You can even see the second jiggle peek made Skye whiff some bullets, giving him even more info that she's not defusing the spike. Once time's low enough that Skye has no chance of winning unless she sticks the half defuse, Nevera peeks out and kills Skye while she's sticking the defuse. It's not the most stylish way to win, but securing a 1v3 clutch round by following the principle of playing time correctly, well, it's a lot cooler than losing the round. Now, we all love to play video games, right? Because they're fun, but sometimes during the pursuit of getting better, we have to do things that aren't that exciting in order to improve. For all of you who are silver and below, we strongly advise you take a little bit of time out of your daily routine to practice your mechanics. The cold hard truth is that when you're at lower elo, you need to improve on every aspect of your game. However, a fundamental concept that is ever present in all shooting games is you need to be able to control your movement and shooting to a certain degree. Doesn't matter how good your game sense is if you're not able to capitalize on the advantageous situations that you set yourself up for, because you just can't move and shoot. One of the more tedious aspects of Valorant is playing the anchor role. On defense, the anchor position is tasked with being the last one to rotate from their bomb site if the attackers opt to push a different one. Many see this role as pretty boring, because you don't always get involved with a lot of fights that occur throughout the round due to being stuck on a single bomb site for the majority of the round. However, the difference between a good and a bad anchor can completely change your entire defensive strategy. Let's check out a clip from one of our students.
I'm gonna rotate.
Bomb grenade out.
One dead. Enemy down. You're done. My ult ready.
142. Deadlock.
Destroyed.
At about 59 seconds left in the round, the attackers begin to push into B side. The position of our hero is currently in one of the strongest anchor positions in all of Valorant. The enemies are forced to push pretty deep into B side to fully clear them. While here, our hero activates their lane blender setup at a great time to stop the push from lane. The chaos from the Killjoy utility and Sova Dart sets up our hero for an easy kill onto the Cypher. Now the situation's a 3v2. Unfortunately, this is when our hero makes a crucial mistake. They choose to reposition towards this corner box next to lane. Generally, repositioning once the enemy knows your location, it's a good tip. But in this scenario, choosing to relocate breaks one of the most important rules of being an anchor. As the anchor, your main goal is to stay alive as long as possible when the enemies are hitting your site, so you can buy time for your teammates to rotate over and support you. If we pay attention to the minimap during this interaction, we can see Reyna is pushing through mid to find a flank. If our hero had stayed backside while the enemies pushed lane, they would have needed much more time to fully clear the site, knowing that Killjoy's still planted in this burner-like position. This in turn would have given the Sova and the Reyna more time to rotate to more effective spots to help the Killjoy. Even if our hero had died while cooped up backside, they still managed to get a kill and stall the push for quite a long time with their Sentinel utility and positioning. This is your win condition as the anchor role. The anchor role can be pretty boring whenever they don't hit your site, but nothing beats the rush you get after single-handedly stopping their rush when they do go to your bomb site. Something you may be doing quite often when you're the anchor role on your team is saving. We've all had a round similar to this one. You're playing on B side, and the attackers completely stomp A site in a matter of seconds. The round is a 2v5 and the spike has been planted. Many players who just autopilot during their ranked games just rotate towards A side after events like these, hoping that they'll just miraculously become Demon 1 and win a 2v5 retake with ease. But more often than not, saving is your best bet. Here are just a few details on why saving can bring value to your team. Number 1, saving can allow your whole team to still have a full buy even after losing a round. Number 2, saving can take away weapons you don't want your enemies to take. For example, saving an operator so the enemies don't have one to use next round, or at least have to purchase it themselves. Number 3, saving can entice enemies to hunt you down, which can be used to play for exit frags that hurt their economy. You might even be lucky enough to steal a weapon from them as well. But saving isn't always necessarily good, because even though you do get to keep everything on you when you save, you only gain 1,000 credits, rather than the minimum 19 to 2,900 credits you gain from losing, depending on your loss bonus. So a general rule of thumb is if you have a weapon that's worth 2,900 credits or more, it might be worth saving. If you are planning to play for exit frags because you don't have enough value on your person to save, make sure to die on the spike explosion. That way you gain your regular amount of loss credits instead of 1,000 credits that you're given after saving. Also, if your team has plenty of money to fully buy the next round anyway, and you aren't holding any weapons you want to take away from the enemies, you can attempt to win the round even if it's nearly impossible, just because there's not a lot of value to be gained from saving if your economy's already abundant. Many of us like to play Valorant because we want to play as fast as possible, like some of our favorite pro players. But we shouldn't let this goal distract us from knowing when to take a chill pill and group up with the rest of our team. If the attackers ever find themselves in a situation when they have a numbers advantage like a 5v4 or even numbers like a 3v3, it's a good option to group up and hit a bomb site together. Since the defenders are tasked with having to hold multiple bomb sites, whenever they lose a player, they feel inclined to spread their resources so then they can cover the newly created gaps on the map. For example, after a few moments have passed during an ascent match, the round is now a 4v4. If the attackers regroup and choose to hit either A site or B site, there's a high chance there are 2 defenders max on each bomb site. Rushing into a bomb site is a 4v2. It's a decent plan to execute if you're able to trade efficiently, or if you have some sort of utility to breach onto site. Thankfully, we've got a clip from one of our students' matches. It displays how not following this advice can make rounds unnecessarily harder.
I know exactly where you are.
After a bit of shenanigans with the enemy Raze, our hero was able to equalize the round into a 4v4. While our hero's team rotates towards mid, they pick up another frag onto the enemy Omen, making the round a 4v3. With only 45 seconds left on the clock, they have plenty of time to regroup as 4 and push whichever side they want. However, the attackers opt to skip this process, and instead they choose to push onto B side with only KJ, while Omen teleports over to B side to plant the spike. The enemy Cypher, realizing they had rotated away from A side, had already started running back to B side to find an isolated duel with both the Killjoy and the Omen. Now it's a 2v3 with the spike down on the defender side of the map. This rush approach to hitting the B site made having the Sage and Sova alive not matter at all, because they didn't even get to participate in the B site push. If they had grouped before hitting B side, a couple of defenders could have been back in B side, but they would have had Sage and Sova to help with the push into the site. Generally, this is a worthwhile trade to make, as we mentioned before, since it's still a 4v2 if they don't attack the site. So the next time you're in the middle of a round, make sure to take inventory of both the time and the numbers to see if you can regroup to make the attacking side easier. We do advocate for attempting to group up as the attackers when it makes sense to do so. But we also encourage all of you to not be afraid to play a little more ratty at the start of a round. Many of us love rushing into the heat of battle, but lurking helps attackers maintain map control. So if their first plan of attack fails, they still have the option to fall back to another bomb site without having any kind of fear that the defenders are pushed up into sneaky angles. Sometimes just the act of lurking can give you a free bomb site. Let's break down this clip of Nats on Icebox to see how important lurking can be.
Probably not. Be honest, probably not really caring about the economy at this point, but maybe that can come back to bite them. G2, start out the round with good damage to Redgar, but still that opening pick evades them.
Kellogg's not really going to get away with anything for now. How? No, but how? How is he there? How is he there?
If we zoom in on the minimap, we can see that Nats starts the round on the other side of the map as his team. While his teammates are making a bunch of noise towards A, he steadily creeps his way onto the B side. Nat's Viper Wall also helps him with this lurk by blocking off angles so enemies are denied info on his positioning. After his nice, easy stroll through B side, Nats finds himself in Kitchen Hall with a free frag onto the enemy Sage. This is when he notifies his team to rotate over to B side, since he's secured the majority of the map control surrounding the site. We'll sit back for a second and let the clip play out so you can see the rest of this lurking masterclass.
This is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. This guy, he's defining the word flank.
It's not even a flank, I don't understand!
Just walked up behind them. It's absolutely obscene. Oh, G2, my heart goes out. You are playing Gambit's game at this point. Nats, he's even come on. He's come up behind for the third kill. He's come up behind for the third kill. How has he managed to do that? 3 kills in a round. The previous one he did the same.
If you happen to be one of these lurking agents, or if you notice that no one on your team is choosing to fill the role, I'm telling you, try it out. You'll see the usefulness that comes with proper lurks. Alright guys, before we wrap this up, let's tell you a little bit more about SkillCapped. So we offer a 5-division rank up guarantee, and think that's a pretty crazy thing to offer. It's like a gym membership guaranteeing that you'll get ripped. Your local gym would go bust if they offered you that. Not us. We've offered this for years, because our service really does work. It works so well, in fact, we're able to produce by far the largest catalog of premium Valorant guides on the internet. We add new courses every month with over 1,000 guides curated into over 50 courses. No one else can compare. We also have a direct line of communication with subscribers in our Discord, so you can get connected immediately to some of the best players in the game who will respond to all questions asked. You can sign up today for as little as $6.99 a month if you're serious about improving. So that's going to be it for today. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.